Hello, everyone. Jean McDonald here with Transition Tip Tuesday. Now, if you get my weekly emails on Monday, you will have heard this story a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to share it again here because it's an important part of my life and my transition into adulthood. And this story starts when I was 12 years old. And I decided to ask my dad why we were poor. And at first, my dad was, I could see that look of anger in his face, but then a sadness came over him, a disappointment. I've never seen disappointment from him, especially towards me. And I'm getting choked up sharing this story. And he said, "Look, do you have a roof over your head?" And I said, "Yes, Dad, we have a house. And do you have food?" I said, "Yes, Dad, too much food. I was an obese child." And he said, "Do you have clothes?" And I did have clothes. I had new clothes or clothes that I learned to sew myself. He says, "Do you feel safe?" And it's like, yes, yes, we have safety around us. He says, "Well, those are needs. Those are your basic needs. Everything else in life is a want." And, as a young kid, 12 years old, I thought, okay, you know, and it, and in 5 years, I decided I wanted to go to Europe with a group of young musicians. And it cost $1,000 to go on this trip, but I wanted it. And I worked hard and saved my money because $1,000 50 years ago was a lot of money. And I was going to go on this trip as at the age of 17. So I saved the money. I didn't have any extra spending money for the trip. The clothes for the trip I sewed myself because I couldn't afford new clothes, but I put together the money. And when I was on that airplane flying to Europe, my very first airplane ride to spend a month in Europe touring 5 countries, I truly felt rich. And I felt rich because I had come from a rich family, rich in wisdom. And, as I was writing up this story 2 weeks ago, I realized something that I hadn't realized until last week. And that was I was at the age asking that question of my dad. He would, when he was that same age, when he was 12 years old, getting choked up again, when he was 12 years old, it was the peak of the Great Depression. And they barely had the needs in their family. Is from a big family. His father was a coal miner. They didn't have much, and the Great Depression hits. And so looking back at his life at that same age when I made that comment, why are we poor? Of course he was disappointed. He did not see the gratitude in me at that age for what we did have. And that's sometimes true for our lives today. We can still look at others now. It's on Facebook. We look at others and their lives and what they have, and we feel like we don't have enough, or we're not doing enough, or we're not being enough. But look at your life and all that you do have, and all the security and the safety and needs, our basic needs are being met. The rest are wants. The rest is really the icing on the cake. And it's good to be thankful for those wants. So this transition tip has to do with gratitude and looking at your life and your transitions in life with a sense of gratitude, with a sense of you're doing this because you truly want it. and you're changing your life because you want to do it. Sometimes we feel in a tough transition, we're being forced into that, but the decisions you make after are all based on wants and not needs, especially if you have your basic needs. Now, if you don't have those basic needs covered, you need to work on that first before anything else. So, with that, thank you for listening today. This Friday, we're going to have our caregiver support group, and you can contact me through Facebook for more information on our caregiver support group, which is online as well as in person. And if you're a caregiver or you know someone who's a caregiver, or if you're a care receiver, Lori Alud and I are doing a powerful tools for caregivers class, free class. There's a workbook that costs $30. And it's going to be 6 weeks, 2.5 hours a week on Fridays from 10 to 12:30. Excellent, excellent class. And I look forward to teaching with Lori because we did the class last fall and learned so much from it. And it's time we relearn those lessons by helping others learn it for the first time. So we appreciate getting the chance to share that with you. For people that live, that's an in-person class. So that's going to be Port Angeles, Squim, maybe Port Townsend, Washington State. So anyway, thank you so much. You can go to Care Without Despair. All my main information is on that website now. So thank you. Have a lovely week and live each day with love in your heart. Bye.